I mean, it was just a wonderful way of getting to know them, as you say, and bonding, sitting on the end of their bed and just reading. We took it in turns to find our favourite stories. And what's lovely, it's really got them reading. I
Mm.
mean, properly reading. I mean, they are bookworms now.
In a shocking turn of events, Queen Camilla has vanished from the United Kingdom, leaving behind a royal family in crisis. After a missing heirloom linked to Queen Elizabeth II was discovered at her private estate, tensions erupted, triggering accusations of betrayal and theft. Princess Anne's scathing words echo across Buckingham Palace: "You will never be a true queen."
I have a copy of a book from 1934, the year it was published, that belonged to my husband's grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, which in a moment you can all have a look at.
As Camilla flees the kingdom in her private jet, the monarchy faces its most explosive scandal yet. Is this the end of Camilla's reign? Or has she made a move no one ever saw coming? The drama began at what was intended to be a quiet charity reception at Raymil House. This private estate, long cherished by the Queen, has become the center of a new mystery. It was during this event that a servant at the estate stumbled upon a surprising and rather significant discovery: a missing royal heirloom that once belonged to the late Queen Elizabeth II. The discovery of this priceless piece of history immediately raised questions about how it had come to be at Raymil House in the first place. Had it been misplaced, or was there something more at play? As soon as the heirloom was found, suspicions quickly began to swirl, with many wondering if there were other valuable items hidden within the walls of the estate. The timing of the discovery could not have been more significant. The heirloom's sudden appearance ignited tensions within the royal family, particularly between Camilla and her sister-in-law, Princess Anne. Known for her bluntness and unwavering sense of tradition, Princess Anne did not hold back when it came to confronting the queen consort. She publicly accused Camilla of theft, stating that the queen would never be considered a true monarch in her eyes. The accusation sent shockwaves through the royal circles, reigniting a long-standing rivalry between the two women that dates back decades. What initially appeared to be a minor incident rapidly escalated into a major family dispute. In the wake of Princess Anne's accusations, other members of the royal family began to take notice. Prince William, although not heavily involved in the confrontation, made a brief but telling appearance at the estate. His expression was reportedly serious, though he did not speak publicly about the matter. King Charles, visibly shaken by the ongoing drama, was also drawn into the controversy surrounding his wife. Within hours of the altercation, a secret family meeting was convened behind closed doors to discuss the issue. The specifics of what was discussed during this meeting remained private, but it was clear that the matter was being treated with the utmost seriousness. A decision was made to carry out a discreet and thorough search of Raymil House. The objective was to determine whether other heirlooms or valuable items had been hidden away on the property. The results of the search, however, only deepened the mystery. No other missing treasures were uncovered, leaving many to wonder why this particular heirloom had been left behind at Raymil House. Was it truly an innocent oversight, or was there a deeper story behind its presence? This unfolding scandal is much more than just a matter of a missing royal item. It highlights the ongoing tensions within the royal family, particularly with regard to Camilla's place within it. For years, her position as queen consort has been the subject of scrutiny and debate. Although she has performed her royal duties with dedication, her reputation has been shaped by controversy, especially concerning her relationship with King Charles prior to their marriage. The discovery of the heirloom at Raymil House has now brought those tensions to the surface once again, and the question remains: how much longer can Camilla maintain her position within the royal family? The timing of the scandal is significant. Camilla had worked hard in recent years to rehabilitate her public image. After decades of being viewed as the other woman in the marriage of Charles and the late Princess Diana, Camilla slowly but surely began to find acceptance within the royal family and among the public. Her philanthropic work, public appearances, and marriage to Charles have all contributed to her image as a devoted and hardworking monarch. However, The discovery of the missing heirloom has thrown all of that into doubt. The royal family, as an institution, is built on tradition and the maintenance of a positive public image. This latest scandal threatens to undo much of the progress Camilla has made in the eyes of the public and within the family itself. If the royal family cannot maintain its unity in the face of such accusations, it could have far-reaching consequences for both the monarchy and the British public's perception of it. As the dust settles on the initial shock of the discovery at Raymil House, the focus now shifts to how Camilla will respond to the mounting pressure. Will she be able to weather the storm, or has the scandal become too much for her to handle? It is also important to consider the broader implications of the scandal. Queen Elizabeth II, Camilla's predecessor, was widely respected and revered both within the royal family and by the public. Her reign was defined by stability and tradition, and she was regarded as a symbol of continuity. Camilla, on the other hand, has had to contend with a much more tumultuous journey. Her path to becoming queen consort was marked by scandal and public disapproval, particularly due to her long-running affair with Charles while he was still married to Diana. This history has cast a long shadow over her role as queen, and the discovery of the heirloom at Raymil House has only served to reignite those old flames of controversy. At the heart of this issue lies a deeper question about the role of the monarchy itself. The British royal family, despite its status as one of the most famous dynasties in the world, is not immune to scrutiny. In recent years, there has been a growing sense that the monarchy must evolve in order to remain relevant to the modern world. The actions of the royal family, especially those of its most senior members, are under constant observation, and any misstep can have serious consequences. Camilla's departure from the United Kingdom, in particular, raises questions about the stability of the monarchy and the long-term consequences of this scandal for the royal family. The fact that Camilla has chosen to leave the country is telling. While it could be seen as a temporary escape from the media storm surrounding her, it also raises the possibility that she may be distancing herself from the very institution that has shaped her life for so long. Her departure, whether it is temporary or permanent, highlights the growing rift within the royal family and the larger issues at play. It is clear that the royal family is divided, with Princess Anne leading the charge in challenging Camilla's legitimacy as queen. As the scandal continues to unfold, it will be interesting to see how the royal family responds. Will Camilla be able to restore her image? Or has this latest controversy finally broken the fragile bonds of loyalty and trust within the family? The discovery of the heirloom at Raymil House may have been the catalyst for this crisis, but the underlying issues are much deeper and more complex. With the spotlight now on Camilla and her role within the royal family, the next few weeks will be critical in determining her future, both as queen consort and as a member of the British royal family. This latest scandal is a reminder that no matter how carefully crafted one's public image may be, the past has a way of catching up with you. For Camilla, the shadow of her past has never fully faded. And this heirloom controversy has brought all those old accusations back to the forefront. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing is certain: the royal family will never be the same. Camilla's journey from the other woman to queen consort has been marked by countless challenges, but whether she can continue to hold her place at the center of the monarchy is now in question. Only time will tell how this latest scandal will impact her legacy and the future of the British royal family. The relationship between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla is one of the most long-standing rivalries within the British royal family. It has evolved over decades and is steeped in personal history, professional tensions, and deeply rooted resentment. While the recent discovery of a missing royal heirloom at Raymil House might have sparked the latest public confrontation between the two women, the tension between them has been simmering for much longer, and the heirloom is just the latest symbol of a deeper, more entrenched conflict. To understand the gravity of the situation, it is important to explore the history that has shaped this complex relationship. Princess Anne has always been a staunch defender of royal traditions and protocols. As the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, Anne has carried the weight of her position with a sense of duty and a clear understanding of the monarchy's expectations. Her sense of loyalty to her family's legacy has sometimes placed her at odds with other members of the royal family, especially those who she feels have not adhered to the same values. Camilla, in Anne's view, represents a break from tradition and the kind of royal values she holds dear. The roots of the feud between Anne and Camilla date back long before Camilla became part of the royal family. The key turning point occurred when Andrew Parker Bowles, who would later become Camilla's first husband, was in a relationship with Princess Anne. Though their romance did not lead to marriage, their bond remained strong over the years. It was when Camilla eventually married Andrew Parker Bowles that Anne began to feel a sense of betrayal. In her eyes, Camilla had intruded into her personal life by marrying someone she had once been romantically involved with, and it is believed that this created a sense of lingering resentment. This early friction between Anne and Camilla, though relatively private, simmered beneath the surface. But the true scale of the rivalry became clear when Camilla's relationship with Charles, then Prince of Wales, began to attract significant media attention. This was not just another affair. This was a relationship that had persisted over many years, even as Charles married Princess Diana in 1981. For Anne, this was a bridge too far. She believed that Camilla's presence in Charles's life, both before and after his marriage to Diana, undermined the sanctity of royal marriage and violated an unspoken code of respect within the royal family. While Camilla was becoming a public figure in her own right due to her connection with Charles, Anne's skepticism towards her only deepened. To Princess Anne, Camilla had never been someone who sought to give or to contribute to the royal family. Instead, she viewed Camilla as a figure who took what she wanted, whether it was Charles's affections, titles, or attention. In this light, Anne's opinion of Camilla only soured further over time. The breaking point in their relationship came in 2005, when Charles and Camilla finally married. Camilla became a full member of the royal family, and many royal watchers expected that, given her long history with the Prince of Wales, she would eventually assume the title of Queen Consort. However, during the lead-up to Charles's ascension to the throne, Anne was one of the most vocal critics of Camilla's position. The issue that most troubled Anne was not just Camilla's relationship with Charles, but the question of her title. Anne, ever the protector of the royal family's history and traditions, felt that elevating Camilla to the position of Queen Consort was a decision that disregarded the late Queen Elizabeth II's wishes, as well as the opinions of many who had long been loyal to the royal family's ideals. When Charles's coronation took place, it was expected that Camilla would be crowned Queen Consort, as per the late Queen's intentions. But in a move that caught many by surprise, Charles made an unprecedented announcement. He declared that Camilla would be styled simply as Queen, not Queen Consort, which would have traditionally indicated her subordinate position. The decision raised eyebrows not only within the royal family, but across the nation. It was a break with royal tradition, one that did not sit well with many, including Princess Anne. For Anne, the announcement felt like an insult to her mother's legacy and a direct contradiction to the royal values that had guided the family for generations. Anne's disapproval was not just a matter of royal protocol, it was deeply personal. She believed that Camilla's path to the throne had been paved with scandal, persistence, and a level of disregard for tradition that she could not ignore. Her objection to Camilla's coronation was also tied to the painful memories of Diana's marriage to Charles. The public's ongoing fascination with the Diana-Charlie-Camilla saga was a reminder that Camilla's role in the royal family was, for many, inextricably linked to scandal and betrayal. This, for Anne, was a challenge to everything the monarchy had stood for. The monarchy, in Anne's eyes, represented stability, tradition, and respect for the values that had shaped the British royal family for centuries. Camilla, by contrast, seemed to embody a departure from those values. But the conflict between the two women was far from over. The discovery of the missing royal heirloom at Raymil House reignited their long-standing rivalry in a very public way. When Princess Anne accused Camilla of stealing the heirloom, it was not just an accusation about one missing object. It was a condemnation of everything that Anne felt Camilla represented. The heirloom itself was seen as a symbol of the royal family's heritage, something that should be treated with the utmost care and respect. For Anne, the discovery of the heirloom at Raymil House was more than a simple oversight. It was a reminder of what she saw as Camilla's continued violation of royal protocols. Anne's accusation was therefore not just about the heirloom, but about the larger issue of whether Camilla truly deserved to occupy the position she now held. The confrontation between Anne and Camilla was a stark reminder of the deep divisions within the royal family. The tensions between them had been simmering for years, and the discovery of the heirloom acted as the catalyst for the latest flare-up. Anne's blunt accusation that Camilla would never be a true queen struck at the heart of the very controversy that has followed Camilla throughout her royal life. It was a sentiment shared by many who view Camilla not as a beloved monarch, but as someone who has taken what she has wanted, regardless of the cost. For Anne, the accusations at Raymil House were not just about one stolen heirloom. They were about the larger, unspoken narrative that has followed Camilla since her affair with Charles became public knowledge. That narrative is one of intrusion, betrayal, and the perception that Camilla has always taken what she wanted, regardless of who or what stood in her way. The history of this rivalry, built on personal, emotional, and professional foundations, came rushing to the surface in this confrontation, and the consequences of that clash are still unfolding. As the royal family navigates the fallout from this latest scandal, the relationship between Princess Anne and Camilla remains as fractured as ever. Princess Anne's view of Camilla has been shaped by years of personal resentment, a deep respect for tradition, and a firm belief in the monarchy's unchanging values. For Camilla, her relationship with Anne has always been a source of tension, but this latest confrontation has only made it clearer that, despite her years of charity work, royal duties, and personal efforts to rehabilitate her image, the legacy of scandal that surrounds her will never truly be erased. As the royal family continues to deal with the fallout from this confrontation, the question remains whether Camilla will ever be able to truly earn Princess Anne's respect, or whether the rift between them will continue to define their relationship, and by extension, the royal family, for years to come. Queen Camilla's place in the British royal family has been a subject of scrutiny for many years. For much of her time in the public eye, she has been viewed through the lens of controversy, her reputation shaped by a complicated history and a series of public scandals that continue to define her role. Most notably, her relationship with King Charles, long before their marriage, was marked by betrayal, secrecy, and a level of public disapproval that was difficult to overcome. Despite her efforts to reshape her image through charity work, public appearances, and her unwavering support for Charles, Camilla has never fully escaped the shadow of her past. One of the most enduring aspects of Camilla's public image is the perception that she has always been a taker. This label has followed her for decades and has become a central part of the public's understanding of who she is. To many, Camilla is not just a woman who took Charles from Diana, but someone who has consistently sought to claim titles, roles, and relationships that were never meant for her. This reputation has been shaped by several key moments in her life, particularly her relationship with Charles, her role in the breakdown of his marriage to Princess Diana, and the public's ongoing view of her as the other woman. The most infamous chapter in Camilla's life, and the one that has shaped much of her public image, was her relationship with Charles while he was still married to Diana. The affair, which began long before Charles and Diana's marriage, continued throughout their union and eventually became the focal point of one of the most publicized royal scandals in history. Diana's heartbreak, publicly documented through interviews and recordings, revealed the extent of her pain, and Camilla was cast as the villain in the drama that unfolded. The public's sympathy for Diana was overwhelming, and Camilla, despite her efforts to stay out of the limelight, was branded as the woman who had torn apart a fairy tale marriage. The public's perception of Camilla as a homewrecker was solidified by Diana's now iconic 1995 BBC Panorama interview. In this interview, Diana made the statement that would forever define the scandal. "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." These words, spoken candidly by Diana, crystallized the sense of betrayal that many felt and placed the blame squarely on Camilla's shoulders. The fallout from the interview was immense. Diana became a global symbol of grace and suffering, while Camilla was seen as the embodiment of infidelity and deceit. For Camilla, the public backlash was intense. The secret tapes that captured Diana's pain, the media frenzy, and the global attention on the affair made it nearly impossible for her to escape the role of the antagonist in the eyes of the public. For years, she remained largely out of sight, knowing that any public appearance would be met with outrage. Despite this, her connection to Charles never wavered. And after Diana's tragic death in 1997, the monarchy was forced to contend with the presence of the woman who had once been vilified as the other woman. Camilla's journey from mistress to queen consort was not an easy one, and it took years of careful planning, public relations, and a series of strategic moves to reshape her image. The palace, recognizing the need to rehabilitate her reputation, worked diligently to present her as a woman of service and dedication. Her involvement in charity work, her appearances at public events, and her quiet support for Charles all contributed to an image makeover that slowly began to soften her public image. However, this transformation was not without its challenges. While many in the public came to tolerate her, and some even began to accept her, there remained a significant portion of the population that could not forgive her for her role in Charles and Diana's troubled marriage. Despite her efforts to change the narrative, the ghost of Diana's heartbreak continued to haunt Camilla. Even within the royal family, whispers of her past persisted. This was especially true for Princess Anne, who had long held a negative view of Camilla. Anne's disapproval was rooted not only in the affair with Charles, but also in what she saw as Camilla's tendency to take what did not belong to her. To Anne, Camilla was not a figure who added to the royal family's legacy. She was someone who had constantly taken from it. Whether it was relationships, titles, or even roles, Camilla's rise to queen consort was seen by many as an act of taking, not earning. The controversy surrounding Camilla's title as queen consort became a flashpoint in this ongoing narrative. While many expected Camilla to be honored with the title of queen consort, following the late Queen Elizabeth II's wishes, Camilla's coronation was marked by an unexpected announcement. King Charles declared that Camilla would be simply styled as queen, a decision that caught many by surprise and was viewed by some as an insult to the traditional understanding of the monarchy. For Princess Anne, this decision represented a betrayal of the monarchy's long-established values and an undermining of the late queen's wishes. To Anne, Camilla's path to the throne had been paved by scandal, not by service or respect for tradition. The shift in Camilla's title was not just a matter of semantics. It was a powerful symbol of the changing dynamics within the royal family. For some, it marked a break with the past, a departure from the monarchy's commitment to tradition and stability. For others, it was seen as a necessary evolution of the monarchy in a modern world, where the past must sometimes be left behind. However, for those like Princess Anne, the change was a painful reminder of the fractures that had long existed within the royal family. The decision to elevate Camilla to the position of queen, despite the objections of many, represented a symbolic shift that was difficult to accept for those who held fast to the old ways of doing things. This tension between tradition and evolution is at the heart of Camilla's relationship with the monarchy. While she may have worked tirelessly to prove herself as a valuable member of the royal family, her rise to queen consort was always viewed by some as tainted by scandal. Her efforts to present herself as a devoted wife, mother, and philanthropist have been undermined by the shadow of her past. For many, Camilla's role in the royal family will always be viewed through the lens of her past actions, and the idea that she took something that was never meant for her will remain a defining feature of her legacy. This perception of Camilla as a taker has been compounded by her involvement in the most recent scandal, the discovery of a missing royal heirloom at Raymil House. The heirloom's sudden appearance at Camilla's private residence has raised questions about its origins and the circumstances surrounding its discovery. Some view this as just another example of Camilla taking something that does not belong to her, reinforcing the long-standing narrative that has followed her for years. The heirloom's presence at Raymil House is more than just a curious incident. It is seen by some as a symbol of everything that Camilla has been accused of throughout her life, taking what is not rightfully hers. The scandal surrounding the missing heirloom has only added to the narrative of distrust and resentment that has defined Camilla's relationship with the royal family. For Princess Anne, the discovery of the heirloom at Raymil House is not just about a missing object. It is a reminder of everything that Camilla represents. To Anne, the heirloom's presence at Camilla's estate is yet another example of the queen consort's tendency to take what does not belong to her. The accusations leveled against Camilla by Anne are not just about a single object, but about the larger question of whether Camilla truly deserves her place in the royal family. For many, the scandal at Raymil House is not just a momentary lapse in judgment or an isolated incident. It is a continuation of a long-running narrative about Camilla's role in the monarchy. Her critics see the heirloom's discovery as yet another chapter in a life defined by taking what is not hers. For those who have followed her journey from mistress to queen consort, this latest controversy serves as a painful reminder that despite her years of work and dedication, the past can never truly be erased. As the scandal continues to unfold, the question remains whether Camilla can ever fully escape the shadow of her past. Her efforts to rebuild her image, while commendable, have not been enough to silence her critics. The perception that she is a taker has remained a central part of her legacy, and the discovery of the heirloom at Raymil House has only reinforced this image. For Camilla, the road ahead is uncertain. The past has a way of catching up with those who try to outrun it, and for Queen Camilla, this latest scandal may be just another chapter in a story that is far from over. The recent developments surrounding Queen Camilla have shaken the British royal family to its core. For years, the world has watched as Camilla, once the subject of public scorn, carefully navigated her way into the royal fold, ultimately becoming queen consort. But the latest scandal, involving the discovery of a missing royal heirloom at her private estate, Raymil House, has reignited long-standing tensions within the royal family and brought a wave of controversy crashing down on her. As the drama unfolds, Camilla has made the surprising decision to flee the United Kingdom on her private jet, leaving behind not only her role as queen, but also her entire life within the palace. The implications of this dramatic move are profound, both for the monarchy and for Camilla herself, and they raise several critical questions about her future, her legacy, and the future of the royal family. The discovery of the heirloom, once belonging to Queen Elizabeth II, has sent shockwaves through the royal household. What should have been a quiet charity reception at Raymil House quickly escalated into a full-blown scandal when the heirloom was found. The heirloom, a symbol of the monarchy's rich heritage, had gone missing for years, and its unexpected appearance in Camilla's personal residence raised alarms. Accusations quickly followed, with Princess Anne, known for her bluntness and sense of duty, accusing Camilla outright of theft. Her words, declaring that Camilla would never be a true queen, struck at the heart of the ongoing rivalry between the two women, one that had simmered for years but never fully boiled over until now. Anne's accusation was not simply a personal attack, but also a challenge to Camilla's legitimacy as queen. For many in the royal family, the question of Camilla's title has always been a point of contention. When Charles ascended to the throne, it was expected that Camilla would be crowned queen consort, in line with the late Queen Elizabeth II's wishes. However, in a move that many saw as unprecedented and controversial, Charles declared that Camilla would simply be styled as queen, a decision that ruffled feathers within the royal family and among the public. Princess Anne, who has long been a defender of royal tradition, was one of the most vocal critics of this decision. For Anne, the notion of Camilla being elevated to the position of queen was not just a matter of semantics. It was a betrayal of the royal family's values and history. The late Queen Elizabeth II had made her own feelings clear, and many believed that elevating Camilla to this position went against those wishes. The heirloom discovery, which added fuel to the fire, has reignited these divisions and prompted a direct confrontation between Anne and Camilla. Camilla's response to these accusations has been nothing short of dramatic. After the confrontation at Raymil House, she chose to leave the United Kingdom altogether, boarding her private jet and flying away from the palace and the family that had, for years, been the source of both support and controversy. Her decision to flee the country has left many wondering if this marks the end of her time as queen, or if it is simply a temporary escape from the overwhelming pressures of her position. For Camilla, it is a bold and unexpected move, one that signals a deepening crisis within the royal family. Her departure from the UK is not just about escaping the immediate backlash from the heirloom scandal. It is a response to years of public and private scrutiny, a reflection of the toll that being a member of the royal family, and specifically a queen, has taken on her. From the moment her relationship with Charles became public knowledge, Camilla has been at the center of one of the most controversial and scrutinized royal stories in modern history. Her affair with Charles, which began long before his marriage to Diana, shattered the image of the British royal family as an institution built on tradition, honor, and stability. For many, Camilla was seen as the other woman, a symbol of betrayal and infidelity. The public's perception of her has never fully recovered from this label, and despite her years of charitable work, royal duties, and attempts at rehabilitation, she remains a figure who is often judged more for her past than for her current role. The affair that ultimately led to Diana's divorce from Charles and, eventually, her tragic death in 1997 left deep scars. Diana's heartache, made public through her infamous interview with Martin Bashir, and the later release of tapes in which she spoke of her pain, cemented the public's perception of Camilla as the villain in a story that captivated the world. Though Diana's tragic death in 1997 shifted the narrative somewhat, the damage had already been done. The British public, still mourning the loss of Diana, could never fully accept Camilla, no matter how much she worked to improve her public image. Her role in the royal family was always seen through the lens of scandal, and her rise to the position of queen was always questioned by those who felt that Camilla's actions had fundamentally disrupted the monarchy's traditions. The decision to make Camilla queen consort, despite opposition from many quarters, was a controversial one. For some, it was a sign of Charles's unwavering commitment to his wife and a reflection of their deep and enduring love. For others, it was a slap in the face to Diana's memory and a repudiation of the traditions that had long defined the monarchy. Camilla's title as queen was seen by many as a concession to modernity, a move that acknowledged the changing times and the fact that the monarchy must evolve in order to remain relevant. However, this shift in titles did not come without consequences. For Princess Anne, a fierce defender of tradition and the monarchy's history, it was an unacceptable breach of royal values. Anne's opposition to Camilla's coronation was not just about the title itself, but about what it represented. A break with the past, a rejection of the monarchy's principles, and a reinforcement of the idea that Camilla had taken something that was never hers to claim. The heirloom discovery at Raymil House, combined with Anne's public confrontation, has now forced the royal family to confront the very issues that have been simmering beneath the surface for years. For many, Camilla's position as queen has always been seen as illegitimate, tainted by scandal and controversy. Her departure from the UK only deepens this perception. The optics of a queen who is unable to face the consequences of her actions, who flees rather than confronts the fallout, are deeply troubling for the monarchy. The image of Camilla leaving the country, leaving Charles behind and fleeing the palace, sends a powerful message, one that undermines the very foundation of the monarchy. For King Charles, the situation is especially difficult. His unwavering support for Camilla has been a cornerstone of his reign. He made the decision to elevate her to the position of queen, despite the objections of his family and many in the public. His support for her, while admirable, has left him vulnerable to criticism. His choice to crown Camilla, despite the controversy surrounding their relationship, is now being called into question. With Camilla's departure, Charles is left to contend with the fallout from a decision that many now view as a mistake. His commitment to Camilla has always been steadfast, but it is clear that his choice to make her queen has divided the royal family and the public. The very foundations of his reign are now being challenged, and the question remains whether he can recover from this latest scandal. Camilla's departure also raises significant questions about her own future. Is this the end of her time as queen, or will she return to reclaim her position within the royal family? The decision to flee the UK may be a temporary escape, a way for Camilla to avoid the intense media scrutiny and public backlash that has been unleashed by the heirloom scandal. However, her exit also raises the possibility that she has quietly accepted her fate and decided to step away from the monarchy for good. For many, this would be seen as a quiet admission that her role as queen was never truly hers to hold, that the weight of the past, the scandals that have followed her throughout her life, have finally caught up with her. The legacy of Camilla's time as queen consort will undoubtedly be defined by the controversies that have surrounded her. From her relationship with Charles to her rise to the throne, her journey has been one marked by scandal, public disapproval, and internal division within the royal family. The heirloom scandal and her subsequent departure from the UK only serve to reinforce the notion that Camilla's place in the monarchy is forever tainted by her past. Whether or not she returns to reclaim her position, it is clear that the public perception of her will never be the same. As the royal family grapples with the fallout from this latest crisis, one thing is certain: the monarchy is at a crossroads. Camilla's departure, coupled with the ongoing tensions within the family, has exposed deep cracks in the institution that may never fully heal. The royal family, once seen as an unshakable symbol of tradition and continuity, is now facing a new era of uncertainty. Will they be able to weather this storm? Or will the legacy of scandal that has defined Camilla's time as queen bring the monarchy to a breaking point? The future of the royal family and Camilla's place within it hangs in the balance,